There you go.
David.
That's
Very nice to meet
that
you.
was a real life buyer on the phone.
We have plenty of those. That's the biggest part of our frustration is the sheer volume of vendors today that have come to us to buy their pack, saying we're going to the market, we want to buy a pack. Who recommended you? We Googled it because we want to speed stuff up. And I go,
yeah,
your agent, nobody. So, okay, fantastic. Buyers frustrated. Someone last week buying a new build home came to us straight away, want to get this done. It's like our biggest frustration is the fact that our background, estate agency, business development for law firms, tech provision for law firms, we kind of know what's going on. We're very understanding of the process on both sides and got a lot of empathy. But my sympathy is running out because I'm getting mightily frustrated by the fact that it doesn't take big tech. It doesn't take a massive change of mindset. It doesn't actually take any time or effort from the estate agent or conveyancer's part to actually go about doing things a bit differently. And I play the scenarios over in my head time and time again and put myself back on the sofa, on an appraisal, talking to a vendor and going, how would I do this?
Yeah.
How would I get this message across? And the reality is, it's like, you know, when you get estate agents that you ask them to talk about getting a mortgage referral or ask them to talk about getting a lead for a conveyancer, their inner voice is already going, I'm going to get a no. That's a horrible position to be in. I won't go there. It's horribly uncomfortable. They've come up with all the reasons why before anything's ever come out of their mouth.
It's not going to work, yeah.
And that's the problem. That's where we are at the moment. And I'm going, right, okay, so if an estate agent understood actually what went on in a conveyancer's office in the early days of a transaction, so let's just talk about that broadly now. So the first thing a solicitor usually gets is a memorandum of sale, and they go, what the f***? And they go, okay, and they scrabble around. They go, I haven't even been instructed by this person. They finally get some contact details. They get a quote out to them. The client, their proposed client, is still shopping around.
Yeah.
And when eventually they do make the decision to go with them, because they've actually been, confident enough as a firm of solicitors to ask for the business, as so many don't. They then send a tree's worth of paperwork out to the client if they're not using technology, or they send an email with 7 or 8 PDFs attached to it, encouraging the client to print it out, which they go, oh, God almighty, and they put it on the side and say, I'll get round to that at the weekend.
Yeah.
Or they ring the solicitor back and say, can you put it in the post for me? Either way, that solicitor's not instructed. Guess what, though? Day 2, you've got the sales progressor at the estate agent ringing up going, have you ordered the searches? Have you got a contract? Have you? It's like, whoa, hold on a minute. I'm not even instructed. It's a sale. I've not got the property information form. It's not got a fixtures and fittings form. I've not got a title check. I don't even know the client. I've not got AML. I've got no money laundering procedures whatsoever. I can't even put a contract together, let alone send one out, because I'm not instructed. Hello? I've got no paperwork. I don't even know these people. You've had a relationship with them for how many months? Oh, yeah, 4 months. Okay. And today you're screaming at me that I haven't got a contract out. Right.
Daniel, though, this is so true, isn't it?
But conversely, you say to the estate agent, right, what are you doing? Oh, we're really busy. We're getting lots of boards out, selling lots of doing the hard bit. Right. Okay. Doing the hard bit. Yeah. Fantastic. But my 20 years in estate agency, hand on heart, did I ever sell a property? No. What did I really do? I found a property that I wanted to market. I got the price right. And having made friends with all my applicant database when that was a thing and technology didn't take over, I would ring up the Joneses and go, that property you described to me, I've just been in there and found it. Do you want to come have a look? And they go, yeah. And they come and have a look. And I go, there you go. And I'd step back and go, ta-da! Is that not what you described? And they go, it is. And you go, but what do you think of the price? And they go, it's bang on. And you go, well, if you want it, make me an offer. They buy houses. All I had to do was market them at the right price and then tell people I've found something. So the estate's go, oh, great at selling houses. No, you're not. You might be good at getting the price right. You might be good at marketing. You might even be good at negotiating, but don't ever tell me you sell a house, because you don't. People buy them. So then I say, right, okay, I'm on the sofa and I don't want to be, as I never was. I was never an estate agent. And the thing that horrified me was when I went to move with us and I was working on the other side of the table as a property consultant for Barratt Homes, Morris Homes. I realized what the industry was like. And above my last business, it said not all estate agents are the same. What a joke. I thought it was a bit of a la ha ha. But actually, it wasn't until I was on the other side trying to get estate agents to do the basics that I actually realized that I was quite unique in what I was doing. And all estate agents actually aren't the same because a lot of them don't actually do the basics. So, of course, when we're now saying, okay, I'm on the sofa, how do I differentiate myself? Okay, vendor, what are you looking for from me? I want you to sell my property. Yeah, but surely you want me to get you to move home. The idea, the end game is for me to not only find you a buyer, but to find a committed buyer, get you moved, get the conveyance done, and actually hand over the keys to your buyer. At that point, we can celebrate. Up to now, it's going to be a bit of a chore. So it's a two-way thing. I can do so much, but you as a vendor actually have got to play your part. You are a major stakeholder in this. And actually, if you're expecting me to do stuff, actually, honestly, I'm expecting you to do stuff too. What do you expect me to do? Right. Well, when I leave here with your signed paperwork, I'm going to point you in the direction of your protocol forms for the conveyancing. I need you to fill out your property information forms, your fixtures and fittings, and if it's leasehold, I need you to do your leasehold information. And in there, as you're filling it out, it's going to start asking you to provide evidence to back up your answers. You're not going to be able to do these forms overnight. It may take you a few days, maybe a week to get all the information you need, but that's what I need you to do. Then what I need you to do is go and prove your identity to me. That's probably point one. So point one is prove your identity to me. I need you to go online. I need you to pay for an IDAML solution. I need you to prove to me you are who you are and go through the anti-money laundering things, right? Then do all your protocol forms and all the rest of it. Then what I want you to do is buy your searches. But I'm selling my property. Yes, indeed you are. But there are massive delays. And I'm convinced that we've got the price right. And I'm convinced in my abilities to actually market your property to the Joneses that I've got up my sleeve, that I've spent 6 months building up this huge database of buyers for your property, or years, or 15 years, whatever. So I'm going to make those calls to the people who are going to buy your property. But the commitment I need from you is to have jumped through all the hoops to make sure that when I've got a buyer and I ask them to commit to it, there's no delay. Because actually, when I get a buyer that says, okay, I want to get on and do it, and I say to that buyer, great, I need you to commit. I can't afford for you to be around, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, for 2 weeks, because all this buyer's going to do is go, I thought they were serious. So the more I can get you to do now, the quicker I can get a commitment from your buyer that I'm confident I'm going to find. So how do we better prepare ourselves for that? I'm going to go and do your property details. I'm going to start spending money. I'm going to start making phone calls. I'm going to use all my petrol. I'm going to get all my guys round to view the property. We're doing all these basics. Going to put the board up at cost to me. I need you to spend 260 quid on your searches. And the good news is when I find a buyer, they're going to buy those off you. No cost to you. You get all that back. But what does it do? It gets you in the queue quicker. It gets your flood reports. It gets your enviro reports, your ground stability, all that stuff, and your local authority search, your drainage and water underway. So when I've got a buyer and I say to them, do you want to buy this property? And they go, yeah, absolutely. And they want to pay the asking price, which is all verbal. And I say to that buyer, right, I need you to commit. How do I show you I'm going to commit? Right, I need you to buy your searches today. What? Spend 200? Yeah. All right, go online. I'll turn my screen around. Go online, buy your searches, 260 quid, put in your contact. Right, I'm a committed buyer. Property searches direct. Transfer those documents straight to the buyer and to their solicitors. Bosh, there you go. Well, there's all the protocol forms. That's all filled in. All done for the solicitors. The contract is their contract ready because in between all that time, the agent actually 0.5 on the 5-step guide we build for estate agents is instruct the conveyancer. So of course they've done their IDAML, they've done their protocol forms, they've instructed the estate agent, they've ordered their searches, they've instructed a conveyancer. Now let's be honest, the conveyancer is not going to give a flying about that file until it's ready to go. But at the point at which they usually give a they'll send out protocol forms and ask them to be completed and ask for all the admin stuff to be done. The beauty is it's already done. So at the point at which we instruct that conveyancer, all that paperwork, all that stuff goes to them and they go, right, I'm going to actually open a manila file if they are being a bit traditional, or they'll scan it all because they've actually got an email, or they put it in their case management system as a plan B or a B pipeline ready to be sold. We'll do a title check. That's it, because I haven't got time for anything else. They're going, as a conveyancer, that estate agent is worth their weight in gold. I want all their business, because actually the administrative crap they usually have to deal with being taken care of.
All that chasing.
I can put my fees up, because guess what? I've got time to put my fees up, and actually I can deliver a fantastic service to clients that are actually committed to moving. The vendor is going, this agent is on it. I'm ahead of the game. I agreed my property sale yesterday. I've got a contract out. My buyer has put hands in their pocket, and I'm happy as a pig in shit. Why would I go anywhere else? Right? So we see ourselves as the deluxe filling of a fantastic sandwich.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle going, we can make this happen. And yet we've got arseholes to the left of us, shitty conveyancers. We've got arseholes to the right of us, estate agents that are too busy to do anything different. And we're going, but seriously, guys, if you just collaborated, if you actually engaged your buyers where there isn't a vendor pack to do stuff straight away, if you engage your vendors right at the start, and actually it's as simple as pointing them to a page that we will build for you for free, that gives them a 5-step guide of the things that they need to do to actually get things going. So actually, as an estate agent, you're not about with AML ID, because we're doing that for you. And guess what? The client's paying for it. How many estate agents at the moment are having to buy endless amounts of credits so that they can do their ID AML sourcing?
Yeah.
What a bitch.
Loads of them.
Why not outsource it and go, client, go visit that site, buy an ID AML solution, use this code so we know it comes back to us, and it's all taken care of. Fantastic. Fill out your protocol forms, instruct us, instruct your solicitor. And in fact, any estate agent worth their salt would put in their sole selling agreement, their estate agreement. You agree, or we agree to take your instructions on the basis that you follow these 5 steps. Because actually, if you do that, our fall through rates will drop. The amount of lost money that we're losing will drop for all that aborted sales. We'll have quicker transactions, money in the bank faster, and happier clients. And actually,
and you can
because
even
we're working in a
market
better
that.
way, because we're working in a better way with conveyancers, they'll be happier.
You could work that into your marketing. You make that into a five
Absolutely.
step plan for sales success. Get
So
yourself sale ready.
So when you've got Chris Watkins today talking about, no, why be the agent that gets 1% when you can command 2.5%? It's all a mindset. It's all in the, because they're not doing anything fucking different to justify it. All they're doing is going, oh, well, I'll confidently ask for 2.5%. What are you doing different for that 2.5%? Oh, exactly the same as everyone else on the high street. So why should I pay you 2.5%?
Daniel, Hamilton-Charlton, you are a breath of fresh air. That is superb.
It's born out of a year of beating the shit out of a drum skin and very few people actually wanting to listen. Now, I've resigned myself to saying, I empathize. I get it. Everyone's really busy. You have my sympathy for being so busy. I get that. But when the arsehole drops out of this market, when the SDLT cliff edge happens, and it will, and they'll be going, how do I ensure that my business retains the market share when the arse drops out of it? Rather than being 40 instructions to go out this week, there's 5. How do I get those 5? Yeah. The only way they're going to get those 5 is by being different, being a market leader, taking that risk. What's it, the report, there was some article out today saying about no one wants to take the lead, everyone wants to be a quick follower. What fools are they? Everyone wanting to be the quick follower. They've learned nothing, they've experienced nothing, and guess what? They've lost 6 months of market share because they wanted to follow someone else who actually is now 6 months ahead of them, and they haven't got a hope in hell. So what we're asking for is agents with a pair of balls that will commit to saying, okay, I'm going to take a leap of faith. It's not even a blind leap of faith, because we've got the evidence to say the market's demanding it. We've got vendors coming to us daily going, sort us out. We've got buyers going, how do I speed things up? We've got conveyancers now outsourcing searches to us going, we don't even want to order them. Why doesn't a solicitor want to order a search? Do you know why a solicitor doesn't want to order a search?
Yeah, why is that?
Right. They're spending clients' money. Okay. Yep. If they're spending a client's money, something goes wrong with the transaction, the client has every right to go, I didn't tell you to spend my money. I gave you money on account, but I was going to be telling you when you should be spending it. So
Okay.
what does a solicitor do? They go, right, I'm going to sit on that money until I'm absolutely confident that nothing's going to go wrong with this. So I'm going to wait till I've got a contract, make sure the vendor's actually going to sell to my client. I'm going to make sure that I've got a mortgage offer, because then I want to make sure that that's not the reason why the client doesn't shout at me. I want to make sure that I've got all the ID, AML, formal instructions, the whole lot. And then eventually they'll go, okay, let's get around to committing to all of these searches. Now, the Conveyancing Association, Director of Delivery, admitted it's taking on average 8 weeks for a solicitor to get round to ordering the searches. 8 weeks. Me. We're suggesting on day one, a buyer buys them. More importantly, though, the vendor buys them 2 months prior or a month before, so that they were ready when the sale happened. So 8 weeks is an absolute mockery. And again, I get the agents going, oh, nothing wrong with searches in my area. And I go, no, there probably isn't. There probably is no delay whatsoever. But unless the vendor bought them 6 weeks ago, they're still going to take longer. So they're not a problem. They may only take 4 or 5 weeks.
And it's interesting, you released a list of local authorities yesterday. Only yesterday you released a list of local authorities that look like they're teetering on the edge of not being able to provide them within the correct turnaround times.
Well,
one of my local authorities was on there. And and today I've been able to turn around to a buyer or a vendor and warn them.
It's important. I mean, the thing is, we've been publishing, I mean, the data has not been nationally and freely available ever. The endless data that we pull together and the stats that we have across all the local authorities has never been public knowledge. Because the searches have been in a tick box exercise by the conveyancer, it hasn't been of any interest to the estate agent, hasn't really been of any interest to the home mover whatsoever, because it's been left to the conveyancer. And as a business, we've gone, but that's rubbish. If I'm buying a property and it's on Riverside Close, as I live here, the first question I'm going to ask is, ever flooded?
Yep.
So why not have the answer to that question during viewings? You're on Riverside Close, the river's there. Do you flood? No, here's a flood report. Right? You know, it belays all those fears. I mean, selling a property is all about removing reasons why someone shouldn't buy something. Yeah. So remove them all.
Remove the doubt. And you've also, you as an agent, if you're taking your job seriously, you have a responsibility to make sure that buyers are aware of certain things. What better way can they be aware of it? But
you'd think, but then there's that fear factor, isn't there? There's that fear of the agent. And again, this is the mindset. Oh, but if I use your hazard checker, and again, we put ourselves forward for the British Conveyancing Awards for Best Consumer Offering and the Innovation of the Year and all that stuff, because we saw that the hazard checker we put out there that's freely available for people to use would actually put those hazards that truly exist in the forefront of people's minds, whether it's flooding, whether it's ground stability, whether it's radon, whether it's coastal erosion, whatever it is. These hazards are real and they are very present, and they are invariably reasons why something would fall through. So put the hazard checker out there for estate agents to use. Go to visit a property, put the postcode in there, look at the hazards and have a conversation about it. Did you know that ground stability is an issue that is going to get flagged up when searches get ordered? Have you ever had stability issues in your property? Have you ever had any movement, any concerns about it, any subsidence, with any of your neighbours? It's a conversation point. Flash flooding, surface flooding, coastal erosion. We're on a cliff edge. Have you had a report that says about, all this sort of stuff? But agents will go, oh no, we don't have that conversation, because they might not instruct me, or there might be a problem. But I don't want to find out about that. I'd rather find out about that once I spent all my money on marketing, finding a buyer, petrol, time, all the rest of it, instructor conveyancer. 8 weeks beyond the instructor conveyancer, searches get ordered. 3 hours later, the ground report or enviro report comes back and the buyer goes, surely that's the thing to have right at the beginning of marketing. And when the vendor turns around and goes, I'm not spending 260 quid on my search pack. What do you do as an estate agent? That's an absolute gauge of a vendor's appetite
Commitment.
to sell their
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
So hang on a minute, you're expecting me as an estate agent to spend, let's kid on or not, hundreds and hundreds of pounds
On
marketing your
marketing,
property,
time.
taking time, opening the doors, lighting the lights, paying staff, paying for cars and insurance, all the rest of it to market your property, and you won't spend 260 quid on the searches and fill out your protocol forms. You're not serious. I am serious. Go with someone else. All right. The agent that turns around, I mean, there's an agent in our town, Woodford and Co. in Oundle. He picks and chooses his market. If he walks in somewhere, he doesn't like the look of it, he goes, not for me, thanks. He's not desperate. He runs a fantastic boutique estate agency. You say boutique, but he's got a 95% market share. Why? Because he's good. And he chooses his properties and he enjoys the people he's worked with. But the agent that will just blindly go and grab everything, because it's all about winning the instruction and dealing with the fallout later on, is a nutter who's just got it wrong. And we're just trying to say, look, 5 steps to success of getting legally prepared. No tech involved whatsoever. We'll do all that. We build a web page. It gives people 5 reasons to go and do something. Yeah. You point them in the direction. It's your branding. You can even integrate it into your website. And you say to the client, I've got a job to do. You've got a job to do. Your job is to follow those 5 steps. All right. And step 5, when it comes to conveyancers, if that estate agent's got a particularly fantastic local solution that they want to promote, that's what step 5 is. And we work collaboratively with the estate agent and the conveyancer to say, what does step 5 look like? What does onboarding look like? Bearing in mind, we've got all the forms, all the other bits and pieces that you actually need. Do you want that to be a quote calculator? We can build a quote calculator in there, whatever it is. Or do you just want to go for the assumptive close? We work with firms that just go on the assumptive. Step 5 is send your paperwork to them. They're doing your conveyance because they're geared up and they work with us. And we wouldn't dream of your work anywhere else. So as an estate agent, you're going, oh, Christ. If I could get up every morning and know that my stock in that cabinet were all motivated to sell, all committed to sell, all jumping through hoops to get all their paperwork together, their fences certificates, their boiler stuff, their insurance, all the rest of it, and going, right, when I sell that property, that's one in the bag in 6-8 weeks' time. Why? Because I need a buyer that can prove who they are and can finance it.
Other than that,
that's all the conveyance really should be.
Yeah.
Who am I? Can I afford it? And have I got a solicitor that can tick enough boxes quickly enough for me to get through? Well, they can if we send them all the paperwork on day one. Now, it doesn't take tech. It doesn't take integration. It takes a willingness to point someone in the right direction to go, this is what you need to do. And when a buyer is sat in your office agreeing to buy a property and you're about to run to the back of the office and ring that bell and go ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, I'm going to send that memorandum of sale, which means absolute you can actually say to that buyer, buy your searches because we've got them digitally. Buy your searches. Show me your commitment. There you go. Bosh. We'll give you your searches today because they're already ordered and you're committed as a buyer. I'll go and ring the bell now because I know you're a serious buyer.
You're my new favorite property person. That's 28 minutes. 28 minutes of a rant about what's wrong with our process. And
did you get it? Get it though?
I got it entirely. I spoke maybe 30 words in the whole of those 28 minutes, but you were absolutely on key and on note. And I've got to tell you, I'm recording all of this. And no, but Daniel, I'm being serious here. I know there was swearing and a little bit of enthusiasm in there. Yeah. But I actually think if I were to play this back to people, they'd get it because you're passionate.
Well, yes.